Hey gang, welcome back to Jade's Garage. Today's video is a continuation of the 68 Mustang known as Jade. I've done a lot of work to this car. It's in its first round of high build primer, and in this video I want to apply a second round of high build and make sure everything is smooth and the same color. If you like videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to see more. So as I said, I'm going to get this in the next round of high build, and I need to mask the car off. So this video is going to focus the first part on masking and getting it ready. And then the second part of this, I should all be in the same video, will also be spraying. I'm going to do the body first and the hood, which only has it really just needs a light coat to cover up any bare spots. But in the previous video, I've added the seam sealer, so everything is ready to go in that aspect. I need to mask off the front of the car and of course all the window openings and that sort of thing. So some of this may be a time lapse, and I'll section in parts that I need to point out as I move forward. All right, so I'm going to start with the front aprons and masking them off. And all I'm going to do is create, I've already done it before, so I have, where it is primer. I'm just going to basically replicate what I did before. So I'm going to take some tape and start on this apron. Do that, and I'll come around this piece from behind, go underneath the cowl all the way across, and then I'll create a tape flange so that when I come over top, I'll use plastic on top of that. Now, if everything goes according to plan, what I do is set the plastic on top of that, drape it that way, and it goes over everything. And then I go around the perimeter of the kick panels and stuff like that. So let's see if I can get the plastic over the top without causing too many problems. Of course, it helps to have a pair of scissors or a razor blade, something along those lines. And anytime you're using this type of plastic 3M, or 3M is what I typically use, but anytime you're using this, it's going to tell you paint side, or which side goes up. So the lettering here, if I flip that over, it'll say specifically paint this side up. I don't know if you can read that or not, but so that's the side you want facing up, away from the car. Get this up over here. And these sheets are really huge when you start spreading them out. They'll cover the whole car. So I'm going to use that reference as a center line as well. That is where it says to, this side up. And also, since I've cut this before, it's kind of a jagged edge. I'm going to fold that under so that I have a straight edge on the tape. Just like that. If you have to, you can reach underneath the plastic, press the plastic against the tape. Now here you can do this a couple different ways. In the past I masked it so that the plastic came all the way back and covered up this kick panel. It really doesn't matter. I'll probably scuff this anyway and shoot it. I just left it there because I like the color, but it's going to get fresh color eventually. So what I'll do also, and it's not that critical, but up here on top where the holes are for the nut plates, you can put tape on the back side of that just to keep paint working its way down into this area. I'm going to be recovering this with undercoating anyway, but I can just add that tape up on top. I know I don't have it in the frame, right? But you get the idea. So I'm back masking those holes off, and then again, this isn't that critical because you're going to have the fender covering this, so you can make this however you want it to look. I think I'll just come in and just tape to the, actually tape to the firewall, you know. It's not like I'm going to be concentrating my spray heavily in this area right now anyway. And then as you work your way down, you know, it's up to you where you want to end it. I'll probably just go to the front face of the rocker panel flange down here. And then from there, well, I'll tuck this up underneath, maybe even get under the car and tape the two ends together so that it's covering the wheels and trying to protect, you know, this stuff here. But right now, again, this is just all going to get sprayed anyway, so not going to hurt anything. Now, since I'm at the front of the car, I will go ahead and do the windshield opening. And you can do this a couple different ways. I'm going to back mask the opening, again, just like I did with the cowl on the front. And that way I can set paper in, and I don't have to worry about a line, let's say. So all of the frame will get painted or primed, and you won't see any transitions. You can mask it on the flange, which is what I did previously, and that's fine too. But however you want it to look, that's up to you. Okay, so now that the windshield's done, I'm going to move to the back of the car and do the back glass and the trunk opening. And also I want to mask off any of the holes that are on the tail panel. Make sure that those are blocked off so nothing can flow forward and into the trunk space. Okay, so I think I've shown the trunk and the back window, but I'll go over them one more time. I wanted to get some of this flange actually painted. I didn't do that the last time I masked it. You can see the gray primer. So I came in behind it so that I can get some primer on that as well. I did back mask everything so it's underneath the flange here. And then on the back glass, I just went around on the exterior flange of the pinch weld. You can go behind, but it's not going to hurt either way. So that works out just fine like that. Now on the doors, because I had already painted, and I'm going to go over this a little more when I do the other door. Because I have paint already on, you know, the main interior panel, and it's black, what I did is I masked off the inside of the opening there so that anything, if any paint or primer blows into any of the gaps, it doesn't come through those openings and back onto this part. So this is kind of airtight right now. And then I also went around the perimeter following the line for the seal. So that's where I masked it previously, and that'll be fine. I also removed the latch and I put some tape in there. I'm not too worried about getting, you know, some primer inside the door. It's not going to hurt. Same way up here. I just kind of built. You can build this up. You can add more tape, try to bridge it together, and I may have to come back and add some just because. But otherwise, you know, that's how I did the door all the way to the bottom and everything. I don't know if you can see that okay. I followed the seal. And I do plan to leave the doors on the car. So I have this area all scuffed up here, ready to go. I'm not worried about getting overspray on the door hinges or anything like that. They would have been, you know, had body color on them, I believe, anyway, based on the bolts and stuff, the paint that's still on the bolts. And then on the door opening itself, now there's, again, a variety of ways you can do this. I went on the outside of the pinch weld, just followed it around, and then, of course, went down into the pocket where the back quarter glass goes. Now, here's something you may want to do. I don't know for sure what your approach, you know, what you want to try. I have left the back glass in the car. In hindsight, it probably would have been better to remove them, but I left them in the car. And I actually took some duct tape and I taped the glass to the interior structure of the car. And I can show you that later. But that way it gives me a gap right here, because otherwise the glass is going to want to push over. Now it's pulled that direction. Back tape here. I put tape over the opening where I had the striker. So again, I took that off. And then otherwise, mask off the channel where your wiring goes and just follow the perimeter of the pinch weld. It becomes kind of fun. You know, you can reach your arm in. I'll show this on the other side. You have to reach your arm in sometimes and press the tape to the paper. It's not the prettiest, but it serves its purpose and it'll be just fine. So I'm going to get to work on the other side, and I'll do that in a time-lapse motion so you can see how I do it. Also, the wheel well openings, there's a couple of ways you can approach this. I elected to just mask off the interior section. I do want to get some primer. It's not gonna hurt to get some primer on the seam sealer in here. Other times I have back masked, where I took tape and stuck it to this flange on the back side and then brought paper to it. In that effort, it just gives you less area to deal with overall. So it takes some effort to mask it that way, but this is how I'm doing it for the primer, and that's all I'm worried about. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. Now, you know, I did mask off, like I said, the door, the opening, back masked that area. I created kind of a pocket here so I could get some spray maybe on the back side of this. Not too critical, as I already had primer there before, but that's where it's at. Now, the next thing I will do is go over the whole car, just because that's the way I am. I'm going to take some red Scotch-Brite and just verify that I've smoothed every square inch of this car. And then I will come back, and the bare metal areas, I will spray some self-etching primer on those. No reason to mix up epoxy. All I'm going to do is protect that metal with some self-etch. Various spots, little areas, and like there, just a little. So once I do all that, then it'll be ready for spray. Okay, I think the car is ready to go. So I'm going to spray it again with JP202, and and of course the hardener for that, and JR507 reducer. And to give you an idea, see if I can get this in the frame, the mix is 4-to-1 normally, 4 parts to 1 part of the hardener, and then if you want to add reducer, it's 4-to-1-to-1. So I've already wiped it down with the JX101 wax and grease remover. You saw me do that. And I will also wipe it down one more time with a tack rag before I actually spray. So I need to get this paint shaken up, or this primer. There's not much in here. I hope there's enough. If there's not, I actually have another gallon that my understanding it's the same product. This is a MP282, and at the PPG store they said that it's the same as JP202. They wrote it on the lid for me. So if I need to, I'll mix up some more of this and continue on. Okay, so I've shown this before, but why not show it again? I'm going to mix 4-to-1-to-1, and normally if you were to do this, and I'm using PPS cups, by the way, those little liners that drop in, and then this goes on top, and then a collar locks it onto the cup. So that's what I'm using. If I were to mix straight up 4-to-1-to-1, if I look at the scale here, right, and 4-to-1-to-1, it's not going to be enough, I know that. So what I try to do is go as full as I can. So basically, if I look at where, let's say I come over here to the ounces, and I go 16, and then I go to 20, then I can go above that and kind of just eyeball it, because there's a lot of room left up here in the top of the cup. So if I went 4-to-1-to-1 on this scale, 4-to-1-to-1, you're missing about an inch of material, let's say. But if I go 16 to 20, I can go to pretty much the top of the cup, and that's going to give me a full cup. Now they do make these in different sizes. This is, I guess, 24 ounces technically, is my guess, because it says 20.3 there, so another 3.7 would probably fill it up. Anyway, they make bigger versions of this. I don't have those cups, but like here's the bigger cup. So I have the shell, but I don't have any liners. So I use that with these smaller cups, and it works fine. So I'm going to put my respirator on and start pouring. Looks like exactly 16 ounces. All right, it's looking good. You know, the hood, coated it again, went over the car, actually almost a full 2 times. I wanted to get 2 coats on the roof and I did that. I got some more on the doors and it's looking good. The only thing I found as I was spraying, I noticed right there, there's a pinhole and another. There's 2, well, there's like 3 pinholes right there. Why didn't I see those? And then down here on the quarter, where's it at? It's right, yeah, right there. I don't know if you can see those or not. Little pinholes. But that's all I found. The nice part about that is I found them. So before putting paint on, I can address those and be pretty minor to fix that. Now the next step, I'm going to get the car out of here, bring in the other panels and get those in primer as well. And things are looking good. So pretty excited right now. Well, I moved it to the main part of the garage, and you know, it's even got a bit of a sheen to it. You can just see the reflection of the door, but pretty happy with how this looks. Now, of course, I'll have to get the rest of the pieces primed and move on from there, but she's looking good. Oh boy, I'm getting very excited about this. We're this much closer to paint, but there's a few things I need to address. A couple of pinholes on the side that I pointed out, and what I'll do is I'll hit those with some filler, and when I finish up the rest of the panels, you know, priming them, I'll have some material that I can touch that up, be good to go, and I'm just really excited about it. So anyway, the next step, of course, I'll do another round of sanding and preparation for paint, you know, get it ready, all masked up again, and spray some paint on it. And I'm looking so forward to it. For those of you that are curious, the color is Gulfstream Aqua. That's the original color for this car, and that's what I'm going back with. I really like the way that looks. Now, I want to give a shout out. You know, I have my patrons that have been supporting me, and I appreciate them very much. You know, YouTube only provides me with so much revenue, and with their help from these patrons, it's helping take some of the stress out of doing this sort of thing. So I want to keep doing that. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, there are links down below. Also, if you would, if you use Amazon, there's a link down below. You can use Amazon, and I get a little percentage of whatever you buy. It doesn't affect your cost or anything, but it sure does help. So all these little things, you know, help add up to the pile that helps me keep doing these sort of videos. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.